All right, I'm here at Pacific Raceway with Luke from Rivian, and we're gonna have some fun here today. This is the media event for the second generation R1, the R1T and the R1S. Tons of improvements. I have another video out that really details all of the improvements. But one of the things that is very interesting is now Rivian uses their own in-house motors completely for the quad and the new tri-motor system. Previously, the dual motor R1T and R1S has used the in-house Rivian motors, but the quad used Bosch motors that they were sourcing since the launch. But now with Generation 2, Rivian is using their own motors, and the horsepower is up from 835 horsepower to 1198, I think it is.
Yeah, over 1,000, 1025.
1025, I'm sorry. Yeah, now I'm thinking torque. Yeah, so it's like, I think, 194 horsepower more than previously, and the torque is up from 908 to 1198, which is like 290 more pound-feet of torque. So this beast should haul. Now, I own an R1S, so I know how powerful these vehicles are, and I used to own an R1T. So I have a lot of experience driving Rivians, and I'm just curious, am I gonna really notice much of a difference here? I know it's got more horsepower, but once you get up to like 800, 900 horsepower, do you really feel that much of a difference? And have you done anything else that might, you know, push it over the line to make it be that much more exhilarating?
Yeah, going from over, 3 seconds down to the 2.5 second region it's a diminishing returns curve. You have to throw a lot at a vehicle to go that much faster. And we've done 3 main things. So motors, you mentioned the torque increase, that's a big one. You've got to get that torque down to the ground. And so we've got a new set of tires for the quad motor. They're our Michelin ultra high performance tire, we call it, developed specifically for this car. It's a 275 front and a 305 rear.
So it's staggered.
It's staggered, yeah, exactly, which helps with lateral grip, but also with this, you know, getting that power down to the ground. And that's a big factor in us going quickly here. It's a summer tire, super grippy compound. And then the last thing is our launch mode that we've developed specifically for this new variant. So that's it's a bit of fun. It gives you like a bit of a coaching screen so that you're two-footing the pedals. It tells you how to do that. It lights up like these green traffic lights so that you're sort of ready to go. But it lowers the ride height to a specific sort of lower front so that when you're sort of launching and you're transferring that weight to the rear, we're keeping the vehicle as flat as possible, getting all of that power down to the ground.
Okay.
They're the 3 things that are helping you get down to that 2.5 second target.
Awesome. Well, let's see if I can get to the 2.5 second target. I've done drives like this in the past with other OEMs, and you know, when there's person after person running, typically you don't see what the best the vehicle can do. So I'm not sure exactly where in line I'm going to be, but I will have the opportunity to do 0 to 60 time with an R1T and an R1S. The R1Ts are usually like 1/10 of a second quicker than the R1Ss. And then also we're going to do quarter-mile runs hopefully with both vehicles, depending on how much time we have. So enough talk. Let's get in these damn things. And I want to feel if there's a difference between my R1S and the new second generation that you put out.
I'm excited.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm in a second gen Rivian R1S quad motor, about to do a 0 to 60 run. I'm here with Jake from Rivian as my co-pilot, and let's see what this new badass version of the R1S quad motor can do. I'm in launch mode, and here we go.
Go on down to the end and pull a Yui.
Okay, so 3.13. That is not nearly as good as what this beast is supposed to do, but we had a lot of slippage, and I'm like the 8th, I think, person to run here today. So I didn't come even close to the 2.5. What have you been seeing with some of the other drivers?
So then we started the day off with a 2.8, and then it's been, like you said, kind of creeping down from there.
Yeah.
Getting the heat into the tires and heat onto the surface with just the sun load has been really tough today. So it's very temperature sensitive. And we usually see the truck does a little bit faster of a time than the SUV. So, yeah.
Okay, well, when we go in the R1T later, perhaps we're going to get a little bit of a better time, but it's still pretty insane. 3.13 seconds 0 to 60 is nothing to sneeze at. All right, so now I'm in the second generation R1T. We only did a 3.13 in my first 0 to 60 run with the R1S. The T's a little bit faster. Hopefully we're gonna hook up a little bit better. I had a lot of tire hop with the R1S. Hopefully the T's gonna hook up better. Let's see how we do. We're in launch mode, ready to go and launch. No, I hopped a lot again. All right, so did break 3 seconds, 2.98, but damn, I was hoping to get a little bit better than that. Not bad, I mean, not bad. Under 3 seconds, 0 to 60. Rivian's quoting 2.5 seconds. I mean, that's certainly feasible. I'm out here with 14 other journalists doing run after run after run. You know, we're not prepping the car perfectly for each run, and to get under 3 seconds, that's pretty damn good. Next up is the quarter mile times, and again, Rivian quotes 10.5 seconds for the R1T in the quarter mile. I'm probably not going to do that well, but I hope I get under 11. I'll be super happy if I get under 11. So next up, we'll be running the quarter mile. All right, in the R1T, gonna do the first quarter mile run. Oh, I can't do them in reverse launch mode?
Yeah, I mean, you can do.
Okay, press and hold the accelerator. It's down to the floor. We got 3 green lights. We're good to go. Now we're watching the lights here. And we got the jump on them for sure. We are racing an R1S. And we are finished. 10.81. 0 to 100 in 6.28 seconds, and 0 to 60 in 2.88. That's my best 0 to 60 time so far of the day, but 10.81. We didn't quite do the, I'll go beyond Tim, right? And then I do the turnaround first. Am I going around here? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. This thing rocks. I think my first sub 11 second quarter mile in any car ever that I've driven. Now, I've driven other cars that can do it faster, but I've never put them on a track like I am here today. So 10.81 seconds is pretty brutal for a quarter mile time. To the left? Okay. And hopefully I'm going to have a chance to run once more, depending on how many other people have to go in our time today. I'm going to see if I could run in an R1S. But the R1T is slightly faster, and it was in this run at least. I beat the person I was lined up against by a considerable amount, and I beat them off the line too. So second gen Rivian is just nuts. This thing is a beast, and we did hit the top speed of 130 miles an hour, and it also gives you your peak G-force, which is 1.2 Gs, which is pretty massive. I mean, it's just amazing that, you know, a pickup truck can do stock pickup truck out of the gate can do a stock quarter mile run of under 11 seconds. That's, to me, it's just amazing. I grew up in the car culture with friends fixing up their old hot rods from the 60s and so forth, and man, if you got down into the 11s, you were a beast. So, but we got below 11. 10.81 quarter mile is awesome, and let's see if I get another crack at this. Perfect. We're good to go. Okay, now full brake, full throttle. We're in launch mode. R1S versus R1T, and we're getting the light soon. State of Charge is powered by Qmerit. After I've helped you decide which electric vehicle charging equipment you're going to buy, follow the link in the description of my videos and let the EV charging installation professionals at Qmerit install it. 1,025 horsepower, 1189 pound-feet of torque, and a launch in. Here we go.
There you go.
And we got him off the line.
Keep going, keep going.
I'm going. We beat him. Yeah, all right, not quite as fast as the R1T. I did that quarter in 11.28 at 129. Wow, we didn't hit the 130 like I did.
Just hit the brakes. And
then we're gonna let him go first.
Yeah, we'll let them go.
Yeah. All right, so here's the stats. 11.28, 129 miles an hour. I just missed the top speed. 6.95 seconds, 0 to 100. 3.36, 0 to 60. Peak G-force, 1.25 Gs. So still insane speed. Didn't get to break the 11-second mark on this second run, but this is like the at least 15th run for this truck, right? I mean, maybe 20th run. So, you know, we're down to about 78% state of charge. You know, you want to be fully charged to get the highest pack voltage, and you know, you don't want to be the 20th person of the day running a truck without recharging or resting it or anything like that. So you got to expect a little bit less, but still, you know, this thing's nuts. I mean, you know, 7-passenger, you know, soccer mom SUV that runs 11-second quarter-mile times is just maddening. Lots of fun. I mean, we beat him in the drag race. I don't know if we beat his time, depending on what his reaction time was, but our reaction time was definitely faster than the R1T that we were up against. So both of my runs, I crossed the finish line well before the other vehicle. So I'm going to take that as 2 W's for me. Even if the time isn't as fast as what the R1T did. We won't know until we get out and see what their time is. But man, I tell you, this second gen R1T and R1S are just bonkers. These vehicles are, I mean, it's crazy that a regular stock production pickup truck and SUV can run quarter miles in better than 11 seconds. It's just crazy. All right, we're gonna line up here and let the next guy go, but that's my last run for the day. This has been a blast. Thank you very much for bringing us out here to Pacific Raceway and letting us you know, hammer these vehicles for a while. The 0 to 60 runs and the quarter-mile runs have been a blast.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Now, if I said that wasn't a lot of fun, I don't think anyone would believe me, and I would certainly be lying. And while I didn't hit the optimal times that Rivian's putting out for the quad motor R1T of 10.5 seconds for the quarter mile and under 2.5 seconds for the 0 to 60 time. Now, note, those are for the R1T. The R1S's, Rivian's not quoting those times. They're going to be maybe 1/10 of a second behind. And I didn't hit those numbers, but it's understandable, the fact that the vehicles were just running constantly and I didn't get a fresh vehicle perfectly set up to do that time. But I will say that Rivian did everything they could to try to make the vehicles as quick as possible. We did use a traction compound on the track. It's like that glue that they put down. And they also did have the tire warmers on the tires when we took long breaks. It was to keep the rubber as warm as they could. And it was a cool day, so that didn't help, but they were using those tire warmers to try to keep the rubber as warm as possible in between breaks. We didn't put them on in between each run because the vehicles just went run after run, but we did break for lunch for a little bit, and they had the warmers on the rubbers to keep it nice and warm. I didn't hit the perfect numbers, but still, that's pretty damn good and understandable considering the fact that it wasn't just at 100% state of charge and the first run of the day. And I did mention a few times that these were the quad motor R1T and R1S vehicles, but Rivian has other configurations. So let's take a look at the 4 different configurations that the Gen 2 R1 vehicles are going to be offered in and their power output. All right, so we have the dual motor configuration, which has 533 horsepower, 610 pound-feet of torque with an estimated 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds. The dual motor performance version and that has 665 horsepower, 829 pound-feet of torque, a 0 to 60 projected time of 3.4 seconds. Then they have the new tri-motor variant that has 850 horsepower, 1,103 pound-feet of torque, and a 0 to 60 time of 2.9 seconds. And then we get to the quad motor variant that we were driving today. It has 1,025 horsepower, 1,198 pound-feet of torque, and an estimated 0 to 60 time of less than 2.5 seconds. And I find it almost comical that the slowest variant of the second generation R1T and R1S has a 0 to 60 time in 4.5 seconds. That's crazy fast, and it's the slowest version of these vehicles. All right, now let's take a look at a recap of the 4 runs that I made, 2 in the R1T and 2 in the R1S. All right, for the R1T, the first run I did was a 0 to 60 run, and I clocked a time of 2.98 seconds. My second run was the quarter mile run. I did 0 to 60 in 2.88, 0 to 100 in 6.28, and my quarter mile time was 10.81 seconds at 130 miles an hour. Okay, let's take a look at my 2 R1S runs. On the first run, I clocked 3.13 0 to 60 time. And on my second run, which was really at the end of the day, I was one of the last people to run, it had a 0 to 60 time of 3.36, a 0 to 100 time of 6.95, and it did the quarter mile in 11.28 at 129 miles an hour. And honestly, 11.28 seconds for a quarter mile run of a 7-passenger family hauling SUV after it's been beaten on the track for like 3 hours of constant 0 to 60 runs and quarter mile runs, that's nothing to be ashamed about. All right, let's head back to the track for my recap. All right, well, that's it for second generation Rivian R1 track day. I accomplished what I wanted to. I wanted to run a quarter mile at under 11 seconds. It's the first time I've ever done that. So I'm gonna take the 10.8 seconds with the R1T. The R1S was a little higher, it was a little over 11 seconds, but it isn't quite as fast as the R1T. And I was the second to last run of the day with that. So that truck's run about 20 consecutive quarter miles. So you can expect it's not going to be quite as fast as the first runs of the day. With the R1T, I was the 5th run that vehicle did for the quarter mile. So it still probably wasn't really all there. I would have loved to have been the first run of the day, but Rivian had to prioritize us according to when our flights out were, and the people that were leaving the earliest today, they're already headed to the airport, they got to do the earliest run. So unfortunately I had to wait a little bit, but still, you know, 10.8 seconds for a quarter mile is awesome. Running 0 to 60 times under 3 seconds with the R1T is just bonkers. Rivian made a lot of improvements on the second generation R1 vehicles, and the performance is absolutely one of them. It was fast before, but it is bonkers fast now. Listen, if this is your first time here at State of Charge, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming electric vehicle news and reviews. And as always, thanks for watching.